Welcome to Half 2-4. Today in the show, the first scandals at the World Cup. A loud robbery of the national team of England in the United States of America, and a creepy criminal thriller at the base of the national team of Iran where they found a body. Erling Haaland shocks fans and changes his name, and Robert Lewandowski flies to the USA for a luxurious contract with a huge salary. We talk about all this and much more right now. The main curiosity in the first loud scandal of the World Cup of the year 2026 flared up where nobody expected it at all. The national team of England was robbed in the United States of America right on the eve of the start of the tournament. This is simply a logistical hell for Thomas Tuchel. The team completed camp in Florida and was preparing to move to its permanent base in Kansas City. When the truck with things arrived at the training complex, the staff with horror discovered that it was completely cleaned out on the way. The perpetrators stole training equipment, official balls of the tournament, tactical tablets of the coaching staff, match kit, and most importantly, personalized boots of the leading stars of the national team. Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, and the rest of the leaders of the Three Lions risked going out for the first training barefoot. Currently, the police of Kansas City has already detained 2 suspects. But whether it will be possible to return the equipment before the match against Croatia is a huge question. To the English Football Association, it is necessary in an emergency regime to order duplicates from the suppliers. And if you think that this is the first similar absurdity in the history of World Cups, then you are strongly mistaken. The United States of America, for the second time, already becomes a cursed place for football administrators. In the year 1994, when the States hosted the World Cup for the first time, the national team of Italy got into a similar trouble. Before the start of the group stage, from the dressing room of the Azzurri, unknown people stole a huge batch of match and training shirts. Then Roberto Baggio and Paolo Maldini barely did not remain without kit. The brand Diadora was forced by planes urgently to deliver new sets from Europe. Apparently, some Americans have some unhealthy passion for the theft of other people's shorts and socks. However, the most famous robberies in the history of football concerned not socks, but the main trophy, the Jules Rimet Cup. In the year 1966, a few months before the start of the home World Cup, England managed to lose the golden statuette. The cup was exhibited for general viewing in London, from where it was successfully pinched. While Scotland Yard stood on its head and the robbers demanded a ransom in the amount of £15,000, a real savior of the nation became an ordinary dog by the nickname Pickles. During a walk in South London, the dog found a cup wrapped in a newspaper, which the criminals simply threw into the bushes. A few months later, the captain of the English, Bobby Moore, raised this found trophy over his head at Wembley. But the Brazilians were much less lucky. In the year 1980, Brazil received that same original Jules Rimet Cup for eternal storage for 3 victories at World Championships. However, in December of the year 1983, robbers broke into the office of the Football Federation in Rio de Janeiro, tied up the night watchman, and stole the historical trophy. Unfortunately, the dog Pickles did not reside in Brazil, and the cup was never found. According to the official version of the investigation, the gold was simply melted down into bars. So now Brazil is forced to demonstrate in its museum only a copy. The story with the English boots in Kansas City will definitely enter this list of the golden classics of robberies at World Championships. The main media icon and the most anticipated debutant of the World Cup of the year 2026, Erling Haaland, is preparing to conquer American stadiums. Any news about the starry Norwegian Viking instantly becomes a sensation. However, one extremely touching detail until now remained unnoticed in the latest matches of the national team of Norway. On Wednesday, June 17th, the Scandinavian team will hold its historical first match at the World Cup in Boston against the national team of Iraq. And in this match, the Norwegian cyborg will go out on the field in a shirt with a special inscription, Braut Haaland. The forward of Manchester City decided to pay tribute to his mother, adding her maiden name next to the last name of the father. If in club football for the Citizens Erling plays with a laconic inscription Haaland on the back, Then at the main tournament of the planet, he presents to the world all his sporting dynasty. For those who do not know, the parents of Erling are a unique combination of genetics and professional sport. His father, Alfing Haaland, was a well-known and uncompromising defender of the English Premier League who successfully played for Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, and Manchester City. It was during his career in England in the year 2000 that the future goalscorer was born. However, the crazy physical data, endurance, and athleticism Erling inherited precisely from the mother. Gry Merita Braut is a legendary Norwegian athlete who at a professional level was engaged in heptathlon and was a champion of the country. So on the fields of the United States of America, Erling Haaland will fight not only for the prestige of Norway, but also for the honor of his mother. This beautiful gesture has already caused admiration among fans, and the broadcasters of the World Cup 2026 separately prepare graphics for the new name on the back of the best forward of the world. Let us see whether the mother's support will help the Norwegian machine to record its first goal at World Cups already this Wednesday. Also at the World Cup, one scandalous commercial conflict flared up between FIFA and American stadiums. The organization requires strict compliance with the Clean Stadium rule, completely banning third-party advertising and commercial names of arenas in order to protect its official sponsors.
Are you ready?
Because of this, the iconic MetLife in New Jersey for the time of the tournament was renamed to the New Jersey Stadium, and the legendary Azteca in Mexico City to the Mexico City Stadium. However, at the super modern arena in Atlanta, where next Monday the national team of Spain debuts, a stone hit a hard place. A huge three-dimensional star of the brand Mercedes is integrated directly into the construction of the sliding roof dome. To dismantle it is impossible without architectural risk and colossal million expenses. FIFA turned out to be powerless against the German auto giant. Therefore, it found a compromise solution. During television broadcasts of matches from this stadium, directors are categorically banned from using aerial filming and showing the structure from above. Even despite such bans, the American model of selling rights to arena names remains a world financial benchmark with which football officials have to reckon. But the strangest, most frankly shocking and creepy scandal at the World Cup of the year 2026 occurred around the national team of Iran. In the camp of this national team, a real criminal horror is recorded. In the Mexican city of Tijuana, directly near the training center where the national team of Iran is based, they discovered a human corpse. The decomposing body was found inside a gray SUV Toyota, which was parked in the parking lot of a supermarket right opposite the training base of the football players. As the local prosecutor's office reports, the car aroused suspicion among patrol officers because of a terrible stench spreading around. During the inspection of the vehicle, law enforcement officers opened the trunk and discovered there a human body wrapped in a black plastic bag with clear signs of brutal violence. According to the investigation data, this car stood under the windows of the Iranian national team since last Wednesday. Currently, the territory is completely surrounded by the military and police, and the shocked football players are forced to prepare for the matches of the World Cup in the atmosphere of a real criminal thriller. The legendary Polish forward Robert Lewandowski is preparing a move to MLS, and this can become the loudest event for American football since the moment of the arrival of Lionel Messi. According to the information of the authoritative insider Fabrizio Romano, the 37-year-old forward will officially hold negotiations with the club Chicago Fire regarding a transfer already this summer. His contract with Barcelona came to an end, and Robert became a free agent, and this means that the Americans have a unique chance to sign one of the best center forwards of their generation absolutely for free, without any transfer compensation, having spent exclusively on the salary. For Lewandowski himself, this is a maximally rational step. European top clubs are no longer ready to offer the aging goal scorer long-term contracts in main roles, and the competition for a position in the squad of European giants will be too strict. MLS instead offers a less intensive calendar, crazy financial conditions, and the status of the main star of the league. Interestingly, Lewandowski plans to fly to the USA together with his agent Pini Zahavi, a man legend of the transfer market who pulled off deals back for Ronaldo and other stars of the 90s. Zahavi says, Robert wants to make a decision deliberately. We will go to Chicago, look at the project of the club, talk with the management, and only then determine the future. Chicago Fire has already prepared for the poll, a luxurious contract for 2 or 3 years with a basic salary of around 15 million euros per season, which due to bonuses can grow to 20 million. This will instantly raise Robert to the list of the richest stars of the league on a par with Lionel Messi in Inter Miami. Although to lure the poll, they tried not only in America, a serious offer to Lewandowski was made by Turkish Fenerbahce. According to the data of insider Nicolo Shira, the Istanbul club gave the forward a net 10 million euros a year. However, European and Turkish media diverge in details. Some stated about a contract for 2 years until the summer of the year 2028. Others hinted at a shorter agreement. Eventually, the option with Turkey currently loses to the American vector. Why exactly Chicago Fire looks like the favorite? In addition to finances, the club has a unique trump card. One of the largest Polish diasporas in the world lives in Chicago. The bosses of the franchise understand that the captain of the national team of Poland will become not just a scoring spearhead of the attack, but a crazy marketing phenomenon, and the stands at Soldier Field will definitely become more colorful. The question remains, will Lewandowski still be able to produce his trademark 25-plus goals per season in a league with long travel and a different pace of the game? MLS has already seen stars who arrived for retirement and saw also those who really dragged teams forward. It is interesting into which category Lewandowski will fall. Friends, if you have watched up to this moment, then subscribe to the channel. It is not hard for you, and it is pleasant for us. And while you are subscribing, we move on. On the transfer market, a new fierce battle of giants flared up, and this time Manchester United will clash in a direct confrontation with its former coach, Jose Mourinho. The object of dispute became the 21-year-old Portuguese diamond Matheus Fernandes. The Red Devils officially chose their next main target into the center of the field, and this is not Elliot Anderson. The management of the Mancunians passed a strict decision to exit the race for the player of Nottingham Forest because of his sky-high price of over £120 million and instantly switched to the leader, London's West Ham United. Manchester United has already started direct negotiations with the agents of the Portuguese. Contacts occurred during the last 48 hours, and the parties actively discussed not only the transfer value of the deal, but also the conditions of the personal contract and the future salary of the football player. The manager of the Mancunians, Michael Carrick, sees in Fernandes an ideal replacement for Casemiro, who left Old Trafford. West Ham found itself in a difficult situation. After the catastrophic relegation from the Premier League, the Londoners recorded serious losses and are forced to sell leaders. However, according to the words of Romano, for the championship, Matheus is frankly too good. Therefore, his summer departure is a 100% factor. The bosses of the Hammers hung on the player a price tag in the amount of £85 million sterling. Matheus himself categorically does not wish to play in the second division, especially since his contract provides for an automatic salary reduction by 50% in case of relegation. However, Manchester United for now categorically refuses to overpay. According to the information of sources, the first official offer of the club from Manchester will be significantly lower than the inquiries of London, around £65 million sterling, with a calculation for further bonuses. But the Mancunians will have to knock down the price in conditions of a strict time trouble. Into the game unexpectedly intervened Madrid Real. Jose Mourinho on the eve personally named the name of his young compatriot at a meeting with Florentino Perez and insists on his transfer to Spain. For United, this can become another exhausting race for the talented Portuguese, as it recently was in the story with Ederson. If Real, led by Mourinho, makes its official step, the situation for the English can turn 180 degrees. In the transfer series around Victor Munoz, a fat point is set. And this decision brought to Madrid real crazy millions without any efforts from their side. Newcastle United buys the 23-year-old Spanish winger of Osasuna. The Magpies consider Munoz as a direct replacement for Anthony Gordon, who earlier transferred to Barcelona. As insider Fabrizio Romano reports, Real Madrid officially passed a decision not to activate its right of buyback of the football player, which they had after the sale of the player to the Pamplona club. The management of the Blancos and Jose Mourinho gave a full green light to this deal, since Newcastle acts maximally decisively and completely closes the transfer after the sent official offer. The player himself, who currently is in the USA, in the camp of the national team of Spain and prepares for the matches of the World Championship, already agreed a personal contract and will pass a medical examination right in America. The total sum of the transfer will amount to over €3 million, and if taking into account all pro-written bonuses, then the final package will reach the mark of €35 million. And right here for Florentino Perez, another financial masterclass begins. Thanks to the pro-written earlier clause, about 50% of the next sale, Madrid will guaranteed receive onto its account exactly half of this sum, over €17 million net. Real simply observed the negotiations of the English, and as a result recorded a solid profit from thin air, which will help the club to feel more confident on the market during the formation of the new super team of Mourinho. The announcement of Victor Munoz at St. James's Park, this is now exclusively a matter of time.
The
41-year-old Ronaldo answered critics the way only he knows how, with trademark confidence and a slight challenge in his voice. The captain of Portugal officially rejected all doubts regarding his physical form on the eve of the World Cup 2026. To the questions of journalists about readiness, Cristiano answered directly, "Physically, I am fine. Don't you watch the matches?" A phrase which has already become one of the main quotes on the eve of the tourney. The context here is important. Ronaldo spent a productive season in Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, but the age of 41 years naturally generates questions. Will the organism withstand the intensity of the World Cup with its tight calendar and the heat of the American summer? The national team of Portugal passed the qualification at the maximum, scoring 20 goals in 6 matches, an indicator which forced many skeptics to shut up even before the start. Interestingly, this summer Ronaldo, together with Messi, will become the first players in history who will play at the 6th consecutive World Championship, a real symbolic point for the two greatest stars of their generation. To the question whether he considers Portugal a favorite of the tournament, Cristiano gave a rather cautious answer. We will find out only in the end. This is a very good generation, but there are factors which we do not control. These are the matches themselves, victory or its absence. The most important thing is to exit from the group first, and then step by step, calmly gain rhythm and confidence. To be honest, such rhetoric from Ronaldo is a classic, always to believe in victory publicly, but to keep expectations under control before the start. On the one hand, his confidence is understandable. Form allows, statistics are on the side. On the other, the World Cup in the USA, with its travel between cities, will be a real test, even for players at the peak. And what to say about the one who is over 40? A question for a Phil. Will this tournament become, for CR7, a real last dance? Or will Cristiano once again surprise the whole world with his physical form? Friends, thank you for watching. And if you liked the episode, do not spare a like and subscribe.